What's going on, Reject Nation? Greg and John here. We just wanted an excuse to use the mics today because they're so fancy. But Legendary has given us a good excuse today. Who broke this news?
Oh, Hollywood Reporter broke this.
Hollywood Reporter is talking about a Godzilla vs. Kong sequel is in development right now. They're talking with the director of that movie, Adam Wingard, about doing it. And right now, it seems like they have a pretty good idea on the horizon, and that is going to be called Son of Kong. Now, I am very much excited about this. Believe it or not, just this morning when John walked through the living room door, I started talking about Godzilla vs. Kong this morning and why I love it so much and how so much of it rested on, even though I've been Team Godzilla, the reason that movie works so well is because of how Adam Wingard chose to capture Kong specifically in that film. So the idea of bringing Adam Wingard back and making it a Kong family-based movie, that really excites me. I don't know exactly what the plot would be. I highly doubt that this would be inspired by the 1930s Son of Kong movie. I feel like it would completely do its own thing. But what I was telling John this morning of why Godzilla vs. Kong works so well, that was a rare film where you're like, yeah, I don't really care about the humans, but the monster stuff I really cared about. And it dawned on me why is because all the elements of humanity and pathos, all that was given to the performance of Kong in that film. Kong felt pretty much like a human character who just couldn't speak, but there was so much nuance in the way they captured him. Like, you could tell what he's thinking and feeling throughout that entire film. You wouldn't enjoy that last fight so much unless you had some type of emotional investment. Because if you look at the other monster movies, the supporting characters are the monsters while the humans are the main characters. And in Godzilla vs. Kong, Kong was the main character. And that's what made it work so well. And I think Adam Wingard really knew how to hone in on that. I'm kind of hoping that you don't really do any humans in this one, and you just do it mainly with Kong this time around.
He said he wanted Kong to be like an 80s action hero, so I think that worked out well.
That like quiet type.
Yeah,
with just the body language.
Exactly.
You sympathize for him and care for him. If it is a direction of Son of Kong, that works so well with the Kong storyline that we have set up here with this rendition of him. In Kong Skull Island, he's a loner. His whole family was killed off. He's the last remaining one. And then in Godzilla vs. Kong, before he goes into Hollow Earth, the way they kind of trick him into going in there is your family's in there. You have others like you in there. They kind of trick him into it. And there's that look that he has on there, this loss. Almost as if he already was a father. Or maybe it was just his ancestors, or maybe it was his like parents or grandparents. But there was this quality that did kind of make you think maybe he did have a kid or something.
Or maybe there's that mournful quality of being aware that you were removed and displaced so far from your home and from where your family would have lived. Skull Island seems pretty remote, at least given the entryway they find in this particular Kong versus Godzilla movie.
But my point being is that you start off with Kong. Yeah, he's like king of the island. Here on Hollow Earth, he finds his home, but he's still alone. You know, he still doesn't have anyone else like him there. I don't know exactly how he would have a son. I don't know if there's some type of genetic
sex scene.
Yeah, full on. That's actually, he met up with Godzilla. He's a hybrid. If they could do a hybrid of Godzilla and King Kong, that would be pretty cool.
King Caesar right there. It's King Caesar from the original King Kong versus Godzilla. That's who that would be.
I would weirdly be down for some type
Let's
of weird
get
hybrid.
weird, man.
Well, I felt like the part of the best parts of Godzilla vs. Kong was when it went weird. If there's no other apes or Titan apes the way how Kong is, I don't know how that would happen. Maybe in Hollow Earth he does find others like him, so it wasn't a full-on lie. When they let him into Hollow Earth, maybe there is some type of, Kong is old now, because like Kong is pretty old. It seemed like the people on Monarch really care a lot about Kong's well-being, and maybe they want to help provide him a family in some way.
Definitely.
So they do some type of
good folks,
genetic, scientific, give him a son.
Yeah, they can test tube him up a son or something. I mean, there are a lot of different ways to go. I know the original one, they just go back to Skull Island and they're like, damn, there's a 17-foot tall little Kong over here. And I can't imagine that they would want to go entirely after that movie's plot. Although if you look at Godzilla vs. Kong, I mean, there are certain elements that do harken to the original movies. Yeah, it's an interesting prospect because part of the fun here is seeing what they choose to remain faithful to and what they choose to get wacky with. I personally welcome more fantasy, especially especially because that was one of my favorite aspects of Godzilla vs. Kong, is that they honed in on the sort of Ray Harryhausen-esque creature fantasy as well as the sci-fi action stuff. So yeah, and the idea, of honing further in on Kong as a character is, I think, a great idea, and having a family for Kong to, invest in and to fight for, I think would be an interesting thing to throw in, because it's not without the realm of a character like that, animals and instincts and packs and stuff. Family totally figures into that, and that also gives him more reason to fight whoever is threatening the family. Or maybe Kong will be needing saved by Son of Kong. Who knows?
I mean, I feel like you could actually do your own just Hollow Earth movie. I think that was some of people's favorite parts of Godzilla versus Kong. It's like, yes, it was the fight between Godzilla and Kong and Mecha Godzilla. That was the big highlight of it. But I think a lot of what really clicked with people was actually going into Hollow Earth and wanting to explore more of that. And the fact of how so many scenes work so well just off of the body language and the expressions of Kong. I think you can do a movie where you really hone in mainly on that and you don't really rely on human interaction, because there's only so many versus movies you could do. I mean, it's like you got to eventually pair them up with a Titan. You got to have some action scenes in there. But I think what kind of surprised people was in Godzilla vs. Kong just how much heart there really was in that film. There was like a real type of dramatic, connective aspect to him. And so for some reason, my mind is going, I want more of that mainly, more than the action, more than the crazy Titan stuff. And as far as like the Godzilla element, I think they're still working out deals of how they can continue on. To have Godzilla in here, I believe that part of the contract with Toho ended. I think at the end of the day, Kong Skull Island is still the highest grossing one of them all. Kong in the U.S., to say the least, seems to be the favored one, at least the biggest box office draw, and they go where the money goes, I don't know. I want Godzilla to continue on. I rooted for Godzilla. I love Godzilla. But if you wanted to do the sequel with, Son of Kong, or something that is mainly just Kong based in Hollow Earth, and with Adam Wingard doing it, I'm more excited at the idea of Adam Wingard continuing to do a Kong movie than I would be him continuing to do a Godzilla movie. I just put it like that.
Yeah, I think that's a good call there. Yeah, I enjoy seeing all the different monsters show up and stuff. I like the Monsterverse being a thing. But yeah, and for a director of this current Monsterverse to be brought back, it does seem like he is a fitting choice, because for various, other than just the financial success, but it seems like he was able to tap into something that at least made up for the losses that just jam-packing King of the Monsters with monsters didn't help to alleviate, So yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what also just a returning director to this new Godzilla Kong monster franchise will do. It'll be neat to see him actually be able to build on what they did before, and maybe, hopefully, try a couple things that maybe they had to pare down on because we got to get this one right.
And also, wouldn't this be the first time a director within the Monsterverse will be returning for a follow-up? That's pretty cool.
It was looking like Godzilla vs. Kong would be the end of this series, and at least for right now, it's sort of got like a stay of execution because of this success. So, I'm just excited to see what they come up with, and hopefully it sticks a landing of some kind.
I'm very excited about that. I'm really hoping they make this deal happen, because Adam Wingard continuing Kong, that gets me jacked. That really does. That really does. Like I said, John came through the door this morning, and I just started talking about it, and then this news came out. So, hell yeah, very much excited for it. Guys, what do you think about this news? Leave your thoughts down below. Subscribe, click that notification bell, hit that like button. We'll be sure to follow this. Catch you guys soon.